Hello and welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We have had a fantastic day of matches. Nevada coming down, visiting us in our own stadium. Unfortunately, taking all three games. But we don't need to talk about that because right now we are all rooting for the Wolfpack. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. We have one more game. It's League of Legends. It's Nevada versus Hawaii in the Mountain West Esports Series. And of course, I'm joined by the pros on the desk here. I've got Red Hots, the Boise State mid laner, and then the Sacklar, who plays Overwatch for Nevada, who is so kind to join us here on desk. So thank you guys so much for coming up here and cheering on Nevada, I guess we have to do.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm ready for the games today. See how they've been up against Hawaii today.
It should be a lot of fun. And the Sacklar, I want to talk to you. I know you're not on the league team, but just tell us a little bit about your journey, why you guys decided to come up to Boise State, and what it's been like so far.
You know, currently Nevada Esports is in the process of trying to do what you guys are doing and get that support from our university. And we feel that coming to events like this, you know, getting that exposure will really help our program. And we're just all happy to be here.
We've loved having you here. We wish the results would have gone differently. Like, don't win on our own home turf. They're going to just buy out the building and say, Nevada, you guys do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be League of Legends. So, Red Hots, I'll throw it to you. You just played this Nevada team earlier today. So what should we expect from them against Hawaii?
They're a very high, tempo team, I guess. They like to make plays when they can. Early game, they have really strong lane phases. They also have a jungler who covers them at good times. Their bot lane's really strong, and I think the biggest thing is St. Daniel's roams for the team. He seems to be in the right place at the right time for all these different plays.
Yeah, I mean, St. Daniel was amazing on those Thresh. I don't know if Hawaii tuned in for that game. I hope they did, because they should probably take that away from him because he was fantastic on that. It should be a lot of fun. And then the Sacklar, just one more to you. You guys are talking about how you want the support. Is it weird playing up on that stage in front of an audience?
I mean, this is my second time doing it, but we do have a lot of rookie players, you know, this getting their first LAN experience. But, you know, I think everyone just handled it excellently today.
Well, they'll have to see. They had to share the stage with Boise State earlier. Now it is all up to them by themselves. If we start with the picks advance, Kiana taken away by Hawaii, and Aphelios being taken away by Nevada.
It's just basically the OP picks for the first round to make sure that no one gets anything that's overpowered in the meta right now. Kiana's just a big roamer that can influx sideways and such. And I know that Taric ban seems kind of weird, but I heard they do a funnel comp where they'll do Taric mid and then Yi jungle, and Yi will basically come and just farm both camps and the mid. So that's why they banned the Taric, so it basically unlocks that.
How about that Soraka pick that they pulled out against you guys? Do you think that can come into play here again?
Yeah, the Raka's a new thing now with top Raka, mid Raka, bot Raka, support Raka. So it's basically a new 4-man flex pick that can go any lane.
For sure.
And then looks like Hawaii's banning out the Vladimir from School Chaos, which is not a surprise.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume they will maybe watch that second match. And then the Ornn taken away, and the Akali locked in immediately. Red Hots, you know a lot about that champion.
Yeah, it's one of the best first picks in the game just because of the mid top flex pick. So you can't really pick what you want into it, because if you pick something into it, they can switch it back. So, but Nevada once again reacting with the Raka that can be flexed anywhere, and then of course the Olaf, which is just a very good strong pick right now.
So how do you counterpick that in the jungle? Is there a counterpick to Olaf?
Usually there's junglers who can either spam gank him and more so out pressure him. Rek'Sai can be pretty good, but usually, or you can do the other approach where you just basically ignore Olaf the entire game. So there's definitely two ways of looking at it. And then of course the MF locked here, which is one of the most prioritized ADCs right now, especially taken away from Price as well.
Yeah. He's pretty dominant on that.
Yeah, Price was a monster today on that Misfortune. And I guess to Red Hots here, since you are usually the one communicating here, what does Hawaii pick here? They have maybe a top or a mid, and they have their ADC. So what do you pick as your last pick before the second wave of ban?
Usually it kind of depends on people's comfort. If a top laner is very usually you don't want to pick top or mid right now because you want to flex it. Okay.
Interesting.
So what kind of sucks here is it's a good pick, don't get me wrong, but usually in the first phase if you pick Akali and it's a flex pick, you usually don't want to show your other flex because now it's basically okay, Cled's most likely top, Kali's usually mid. So now they don't. Now they can kind of narrow it down. And of course, Mordekaiser is also a good pick from Nevada, being a flex pick mid and top. So draft's mainly more so about not giving the enemy information of what you want to do, and also keeping them second guessing.
Well, I think that Soraka is doing that for now. Going to see some bans coming out here from Nevada. We're going to see the Lee Sin taken away here, trying to target down those junglers, since that would be the one spot that Nevada or Hawaii needs. That's really a power pick. Of course, support can be very strong as well. The Senna taken away, something we've seen a lot at the pro level, but at the collegiate level, that's not an AD carry that we've personally seen a lot of.
Yeah, it usually just depends on which teams put the time for AD carry support. So she's really strong in both roles right now.
One more ban left for Nevada, the Wolfpack. Going against either a support or a jungler. It looks like it is going to be a Leona ban, who also is one of the most powerful supports.
Which more so makes sense. Leona is one of the best supports in the game right now due to the stone plate interaction with Aftershock. So the Aftershock change, I think it was a couple patches ago, made it so the bonus magic and armor is buffed for like how much you get instead of having a lower base. And so when Leona gets her W bonus, magic and armor plus stone plate, she becomes unkillable.
And then
of course the Cassid.
So it looks like Hawaii assumes that Mordekaiser is going up in the top lane here.
Which I think it might be mid, because Mord's a very good pick into Akali.
And I think that Thresh pick almost has to confirm, unless it's some sort of Thresh Soraka bot, but that is Soraka mid. So
it could be top still, Raka bot, that's my guess.
Yeah, that's what they ran against you guys.
Yeah, it might be Raka ADC or it might be top lane. That's my two guesses right now.
So Hawaii doesn't have as much flexibility here. That we know they're looking for a support, and we know they're looking for a jungler. There's the jungler.
This is a good reaction into Olaf, just because you can usually out-gank Olaf early game, because Olaf's not really a heavy ganker. And also, later in the game, with Olaf's R, when he comes unstoppable, you can just R and then EQ away, and he can't get out of the...
Yeah, you cannot unstoppable terrain. That's the one thing that stops him. The Blitzcrank being hovered right now for Hawaii. They're going to lock it in. That means it's going to be a lot of fun in the bot lane here. And for Nevada, they have a different, we've talked about it, that Soraka could still go top, it could go bot. Maybe it's not as safe against the Blitzcrank because there's not a lot of escapability for her, so maybe now you do have to send that up in the top lane or even in the mid lane. Diana's going to be the hover, so...
Looks like it's Diana mid, if I'm guessing.
So that has to be a...
it's probably Raka bot.
I was going to say, it might be a Mordekaiser bot lane as well. I've seen it. They're going to switch it off. I thought they might run it.
I think... The thing is, it's kind of scary now, though, is Nevada's bot lane actually has to give Hawaii bot lane a lot of care and pressure, I guess, and respect, just because of Misfortune and Blitzcrank's nature of being able to kill anyone.
So who do you think has the edge here in the level 2 in the bot lane?
I think level 2 early, it's going to be Hawaii's bot lane with the MF Blitz, just because they can play off Blitz hook, and by the time if Raka heals, if they hook Raka, of course, she's just going to be one shot.
Yeah.
No, you are not confused. You did not click on the wrong Twitch channel. We are supporting Nevada this time. It is Nevada versus Hawaii in the League of Legends Esports Mountain West Series. Nevada came and visited us. We figured let's give them a game on the big stage where they can all be up there, they can all shine. So we are doing that. So we're rooting for Nevada. I think we have to say that. They're in the house. They have some fans here. So Nevada versus Hawaii, and we talked about it last night. These games are so crucial. A big change coming out to the League of Legends Mountain West Esports Series. There is no more semifinal, just a final, so every game's huge. But let's go to Doc with an interview on stage.
So, job. This has been a great event. You've got Hawaii now. This game matters. Not that the other ones didn't, but this one matters in the standings. What do you got to do to win early?
I think we picked some good lanes for the players to just show that they can play the lanes and they know how to play the matchups. So it's all up to them.
Exactly. So anything in your preparation for Hawaii that, as you see the Blitzcrank come out here, what's that?
So yeah, Blitzcrank is actually one of the characters that we wanted them to play. Our goal was to actually get them off the Taric, because we saw that they had a pretty close match last week with that character. And so he's not on that, and we think we have a good shot.
Good. It's all about mitigating the risk, right? You like this risk a little bit more than the... Final question here to send you out with. Who slept...
I can't answer that one.
That would probably be Matt. Matt just sleeps the least out of all of us.
So you're...
Thank you, Doc, for that interview. And so it sounds like Nevada is really doing jumping for joy. They wanted that Blitzcrank taken by Hawaii. So as much as I think that it can really bully that Soraka, that's the matchup they wanted to see.
Yeah, it looks like actually that was wrong about the Taric funnel. It was more so the Taric support. I guess they must have just would basically ult and just go all in or something like that. So
it's going to be interesting to see Red Hots as they're looking at the draft as a whole. We talked about the level 2. What team has the advantage in the long term?
I think Nevada's comp overall is more rounded. When you have the Raka and Olaf later, it's going to be very hard and oppressive to kill them. It's going to be, you have to like execute one of them, and it's going to be really hard to get the other. You have the Mordekaiser just for basically getting those picks off. If anyone on Hawaii gets fed or something like that, you can ult him and just take him out of the fight for the most part. And then you obviously have the Diana AoE from her ult and stuff doing a lot of damage coming down there, plus the Thresh with the roam pick potential.
And Sacklar, you're the Overwatch player for Nevada, so I don't want to give you a technical question, but Doc asked about the sleep. I mean, we've been here since 11, and it's now 4. Is there any worry that fatigue could be setting in for Nevada?
Definitely. I mean, our players' accommodations were okay, but, we tried to get some sleep. So hopefully, these players with their late nights and solo queue help them train for this.
I mean, Red Hots, you're a League of Legends player. How do you work out these? Because there's been days where you've been playing from 11, then you have to play again at 4. So how do you handle that fatigue?
Usually it's more so about resetting your mindset, just like it's another game, one game at a time, rather than just like, oh, this is my second series of the day. It's more so like, okay, like this is, another game, new game. Just go into this, full fresh mind and know how you play the game and just play the way.
We'll have to see if Nevada can get that done. They are playing Hawaii. They were gracious enough to come up here to visit us, so we said, why not play your game that really matters, the Mountain West Esports Series against Hawaii on the big stage. You can't lose a match. There's no more semifinals. It's one team from each division. Boise State fans, you can't have a rooting interest. Both these teams are on the west side, so no one's going to mess up Red Hots and his team's goal of getting to Vegas if they win. And I'm sure you'd maybe like to see Nevada again and get some revenge from earlier today.
Oh, of course. They're great guys. They're a good, fun group to play with, and, they play some good League of Legends, so I'm always excited to watch them play.
And what would be – we usually have Doc's keys to the game. Doc's busy, so what is the one Red Hot's key to the game this game?
My biggest thing, I think, with how the game's being played right now is more so mid-jungle synergy. Is just make sure that if their jungle is pressuring mid, that the other jungle matches it, or if you have a good roams bot lane for 4-mans or 3-mans tops, I think it's a very crucial part of how the game is right now.
We'll have to see. And then I guess I want to ask you this one more question. They made the dragon change. Which dragon do you think is the most powerful right now?
I think base dragons in general are pretty weak. They're just pretty weak stats. Cloud Dragon's nice for 10% main cooldown, but I think the biggest thing is the souls that you really care for. So you can give 1 to 2 dragons, even 3, but the soul is the one that you obviously don't want to give up.
We hop into the game here. Looks like Nevada is going to try something cheeky. They're going to walk right into that tri-bush where an unsuspecting Hawaii member is right there. He better run. St. Daniel's going to go for the flash, but also gets the flash away from Misfortune. So escapes death, but he's not going to have a flash in that bot lane.
It's always worth to blow flash for AD for support. Ooh, that was a quick step right there.
I'm guessing Avi was trying to bait Misfortune to chase him down, get another hook from St. Daniel. Which flash is more important, though, the support or the AD carry?
AD carry always. Even in lanes and stuff, if bot lane fights and, AD carry dies and support dies, it's always better for the AD carry to die.
Now, I won't force you to do the whole Glovely item routine, but is there anything that catches your eye on the items or the keystones from either side?
Not really. Usually, it just kind of conquers in the top matchups. It is kind of interesting, I guess, for Kled to go PTA. He's why I was looking for more burst trades rather than, full-out trades with Mordekaiser because you don't really win it anyway with his passive, so it's actually probably not that bad.
I haven't played this game for a long time. I didn't play when the Mordekaiser changes went into effect. What do you think that top lane matchup is going to be like here?
Mordekaiser more so is usually good into other melee champs. However, Kled's Q was changed 2 patches ago, where if he hits the second part of the Q, he gets that Grievous Wounds thing, which makes it so your healing is reduced by 40%. But as we can see here, the biggest thing about it is Mordekaiser's passive that can just with Conquer that really does a lot of damage. However, he just
overcommitted there from Endpoint.
You know, that's Kled. Like, that's a PTA talking. You know, he's taking short trades, waits for it, waits for his Q again, and then the thing with this Kled is his mount is very oppressive to deal with, just because if you try to fight him more after, he can obviously get his mount back.
And there is that split second of invulnerability where he falls off his mount, where he can turn it around. So First Blood gonna go over to Hawaii. I was expecting a Jarvan level 2 gank. We've seen that a lot, but unwanted. Wanted to go up. He's gonna go the red Krug blue route, a guaranteed level 3. I'd say he ganked top, but they already got a kill. Mordekaiser though, blue teleport, and there's the pings coming out. Endpoint has no idea. Here comes Unwanted. He's gonna go for the flag and drag, lands the knockup as well. Endpoint trying to do everything he can. There is no mount for Crimson side, doesn't matter. That's another kill for the top laner.
Ooh, nice. Ball in. Right here, it should be dead nice. Yeah, the Airy. That's also taking advantage of Flash. You see, it's a good cross-map play from both teams here. Top side, J4 was obviously taking advantage of the Mordekaiser blowing Flash early and being pushed up with his wave. His wave was on the spot, he had to push in, or else, you know, the enemy Kled could have frozen and made him lose more. And then Ballin taking advantage of that Flash early.
As we see that replay here, Endpoint had no idea, thought he was winning that fight, and Unwanted said, nope, not today. And that kill going over to Kled is huge, because that just means he's even more oppressive in lane.
Kled is going to be a very hard thing to deal with, especially since he's more of a backlaner, and it's hard for Mordekaiser to ult him if he's ahead, because he'll usually win that majority of the time.
You guys played against Nevada. How would you say their vision control and just general map positioning is?
We're going to see a gank, though, before we get to that. A flag and drag right onto Skull Chaos, but he's going to pick him up with assist from the tower, and now Dylan Kira is caught all alone. Avi chasing him down. That's a gank gone wrong for Hawaii.
That's what I was talking about with the mid-jungle synergies kind of thing, you know? Like, where if their jungle mid comes and then, you know, your jungle comes and trades with them, it's going to end up usually coming back for you. So that was a good turn by them.
And Endpoint, even though he's down 2 kills, he is still pushing, trying to force Crimson side to stay at his tower so he can't roam on the Kled. Do you like that?
I think it's more so that he can see that J4 is mid, and so he has the opportunity to push his wave in and reset it. He doesn't want to be put in a bad spot where the Kled can, you know, freeze lane on him and just get another kill. So I think he's just trying to make sure that the lane state kind of evens up and gets in a better spot.
Crimson side's going to hop right on to Endpoint. He's going to get the bear trap to pull him back. Those grievous wounds are going to stop any healing, but unfortunately, looks like all those spells were on cooldown. Endpoint just barely going to escape.
Yeah, Kled too early, like 2-0 early is very hard to deal with, just because every time you go for a trade and stuff, he's just going to look to all in you every time.
Skull Chaos going to jump in on Dylan Kieran. Not going to have much from there. I mean, at the point where he's 2-0, is it even worth sending Avi up there to gank, or is he just so oppressive you have to try and build up other lanes?
Usually you should try to build other lanes at this point, especially because your win condition has changed to mid-bot side. You know, your mid has 1 kill, your bot has 1 kill. However, it's Rock with Thresh, so usually you probably want to get the Diana ahead more so, just because it'll be more oppressive rather than trying to help the bleeding from top side.
A hook across is going to land Price. He's going to get the knockup as well. Ignite, but a perfect lantern from St. Daniel is going to save that Raka.
Yeah, that was a really good look by the Blitz there. It's just out of vision, so he couldn't really see him, and then just getting that last, using the really buff to his Q.
It was a good job. Unfortunately, not going to land a kill, and so Raka probably one of the champions you don't want to do a bunch of damage to and not kill, because she can just heal herself right. Or no, she can't heal herself unless she ends her Q anymore.
Yeah,
that's right.
She heals from Qs.
I mean, she's been landing a bunch, so you're going to have to be very careful. I forgot. I'm still used to the old banana Soraka. That was just even more oppressive to play against. In the mid lane there, Skull Chaos hits level 6, doesn't want to all in on Akali. And Red Hots, you're an expert at Akali. What is that matchup like for an Akali against the Diana?
With new Diana, how she is kind of now, it's actually a lot harder because of Diana's shield pressure, what she has. So the biggest thing for Akali, which we should be doing, is trying to bait out the W, and then once it's out, you can actually look to hard trade with Diana.
You're going to see and Endpoint's doing a fantastic job being down 2 kills to just surviving. Nice cannon there flying across the map for the side of Hawaii, making sure that they can't get it denied. Now we're going to see Crimson Side's going to jump onto Unwanted. He's going to see a teleport coming out as well. The Dragon goes to the side of Nevada, but they have blood on their mind. Skull Chaos going to jump right onto him. He's going to take him down. Unwanted was trying to come up to help for the gank, but he might be a sitting duck as well. Skull Chaos and Endpoint, he's going to jump onto him, trying to get a little bit more damage. Here comes Dylan Kira. It doesn't matter. That's a double kill over to Nevada.
That's a great TP there. Like the biggest thing right there is Diana didn't TP to lane when she forced Akali to TP to lane earlier, and then she kept hers so she could use that counter gank to top side. Is that it's a big shutdown from Diana as well.
To answer my own question, looking like Nevada has the map positioning under control right now.
Yeah, Nevada's done a fantastic job after a rocky start just in the top lane, really rebounding. I mean, a great job by Endpoint. When you go down 2 kills in 4 minutes, I mean, tell me, Red Hots, how hard is it to still be mentally there and not check out like, oh, this guy's
It
fed?
is definitely really hard just because the Kled made it so it was very hard for him to play the game. Obviously, every time he stepped up, he would trade with him, like, and then obviously the CS league kind of makes it not really more so like disheartening, I guess, but he ended up coming back and now they're doing a great spot. Also, the Olaf is actually just taking full advantage of the enemy jungle right now. He's got 2 levels up and 34 CS up, which is huge in 7 minutes.
Yeah, Avi is just, so here comes the hook, though, onto Price, under tower range, but a fantastic land, and he's dropping very low. Unwanted's on the side of your screen, but there is Avi, and that's where that 2 levels make a difference. Level 7 Olaf, and that Jarvan just runs away, tail between his legs.
Another good, obviously hover right there, because, if J4 ends up going in there, he's right there to counter the gank, so I think it's a good way to just basically have a pressure gank where both lanes just walk away.
This has been the tough spot for Nevada, if there has been one, is this top side. Crimson side taking a lot of poke damage, running away like he thinks a gank is coming. Only problem for his is nothing is coming. We're going to go to the Shadow Realm. No mounts available for Crimson side, and Endpoint should be able to finish this one. The isolation damage, but unfortunately the Courage brings the mount back for Crimson side. Going to give him a little bit extra health, trying to find a way to get away the flash, but Endpoint's going to follow him, and that's a turnaround kill for the top laner.
That was a great trade and honestly great use of his ult there. He also held his Q at the very last moment to make sure that Kled was off mount to get the damage across.
Hook's going to come on to St. Dan. He's going to get knocked up and ignited. The box is going to come out. August Feb isn't going to be able to find enough damage. Story of the bot lane for Hawaii. Great hooks, but they just don't have enough damage right now to secure a kill.
Yeah, this Blitzcrank is hitting a lot of hooks, however. This lane is super oppressive, so if you hook, Raka, the Thresh Lantern's there, and vice versa. If you hook Thresh, Raka can heal you back up.
Yeah, you can really tell that Nevada did want them to play that Blitzcrank. They are looking very prepared to deal with those hooks. St. Daniel with that Lantern every time that Price gets hooked.
It would not surprise me, no matter who wins this game, if that Thresh is taken away by Hawaii. It's been so, you can't even land a kill, and you think Blitzcrank is going to say, I'm going to get a hook on a Soraka, we're going to get a kill, but that Lantern has been so strong, so I would not be surprised if Hawaii takes that as a ban right now. If we look across on the CS, everywhere but the top side for Nevada is just in a commanding lead. But topside, it's really been Endpoint favor this entire time, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, he's just taking a big advantage of his trade states and just having good trades and just taking him one step at a time. So that's really a really good job from him, especially given the fact of how he started the game. Also, it's a good play. Made here get the plates. Make sure you use early Herald for plates. It's always a really good free way to get gold.
Going to pick up a couple of plates there, going to back off just before Shelly can pick that. Here comes Kled. Crimson side is going to jump in onto Avi, trying to do a lot of damage onto Daniel. Meanwhile, Skull Koleos is going to jump in on the backside. Crimson side is going to pick up the first kill, but he's going to have to pay for it. Courage isn't going to come back up. Avi's going to pick up that kill. Ragnarok comes out. Here comes the bullet time, though, plus the Cataclysm. There goes Avi. Skull Chaos is trapped. We're going to see a stopwatch come out from August Feb. Endpoint trying to do what he can. That's a huge shield. 1 kill for Nevada. Now they're chasing down the rest of Hawaii. The flash from Blitzcrank keeps him alive, but in a 1-for-1 trade, Nevada is the one who has Hawaii running away.
Yeah, that was a really long fight there, honestly. You didn't know who was going to win there for a little bit, but that was a really good job of, Olaf taking his advantage and making sure he's always autoing to make sure he's getting his healing off. And then, of course, once Rocket comes out to the fight, Hawaii has to know to back off there just because of the healing to trigger it up.
And I think the sneaky MVP of that fight was the Soraka, because if you look at Misfortune's build, she has an Executioner's Calling to counter the healing, but your bullet time isn't going to do any damage with that item 10 minutes into the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was really good play from honestly, from Nevada. Good, trading Thresh for other kills is always worth, of course.
And we still have that bounty available on Skull Chaos. He did everything to jump on the back line and still get away and still pick up a couple of kills. We are going to see Blitzcrank trying to set up a play in those alcoves. And Red Hot's talked to me. That's one of the maybe most underrated changes about this patch is those alcoves. Are they useful, or do you just think there's more sort of there, but no one really knows how to use them yet?
I think they're more so champion specific or just like a new level of cheese because, you can hook over that. But a big thing is Bard portals. You can go to them from Bard portals, or you can leave them from Bard portals, so it'll actually open up to a lot of, counterplay and stuff, and a lot of times, especially top lane, I know people will kite them for the cooldowns to come back up to win trades for them as well, so they're an interesting part of the game, of course.
So we're going to see another Drake picked up for Nevada, but here comes the gank into the top side. Endpoint is going to steal Unwanted into the Shadow Realm, so it's a minor 1v1 for now. He still has the Grievous Wounds, but he is dealing a ton of damage right as it fades. A perfect disengage, and that's what makes ganking Mordekaiser so hard. He turns anything into a 1v1.
Champ is super impressive just for that reason alone, you know? Because if you gank him, you can always ult and turn it around, especially if he gets ahead, you know? So it's definitely a very impressive champion to deal with, as well as a flex with. It's a very good pick. Ooh.
A hook on to August Feb, and we see Abi was right there, and they have no idea. Undertow going to be used. The Ragnarok comes out as well. A TP is coming in for Hawaii, but it might be too late. Crimson Side is there, but he didn't know it was a 4v1. A perfect death sentence brings him off the mount. The tower dive is on, and that's a triple kill bot lane for Nevada.
Nevada's just looking like they're just very in sync as a team in general. They know what they want to do, and they know what they want to accomplish, and they very accomplish it. Like the start of that is the bot lane baiting it, taking HP losses, thinking that it's a lot harder, and then Olaf coming in to, you know, sweep it up, as well as the Diana TP to really finish it off.
So Red Hots, you know, as a player, what do you do if you're Hawaii here? You know, Nevada being up so high.
I mean, the biggest thing is, you know, you want to farm up your carries and honestly play for your high mid game. Kali has a very high damage mid game. MF ult has a very damage. So the biggest thing is you want to take fights that are more so in your favor with numbers, especially. You don't want to be fighting Nevada with these timers, and you also want to make sure that you're trying to get TP advantages, is making plays off those TPs. To, like, you know, get those shutdown goal, of course. That's your main goal.
Price forced the flash, and now they want to jump onto Skull Chaos. Crimson Side came in as well with his ultimate. It's a 1v2, trying to get to the glass cone, but the Cataclysm says no today, and that is a shutdown, and exactly what Hawaii was looking for.
That's a huge play for them, just because they get a 600 shutdown on the Kled, which is just a massive amount of gold for someone. And, you know, like they said, they ulted, they took a number of advantages, and they took advantage of it. Got the shutdown.
So what is the Hawaii win condition, Red Hot? I know you talked about Akali, but can they play around Kled? We'll get to that in a second, though. A gank's going to come out trying to get that Akali fed. Going to get the knock up onto Endpoint. He doesn't quite have the ultimate available. Flashes away right to Avi, who's there. Ragnarok's going to come out. Undertow as well. The reckless swing. Unfortunately, Dylan Kara is going to get the kill. Undertow takes him down, so that is a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was a really well played, but what was your point before?
I mean, besides the Akali, how does Hawaii win? Is there another way they win besides Akali just popping off and a kill?
I think the big thing is they need to make sure that Kled can split push and be like a threat in the split. Of course, you know, being able to beat Mordekaiser is a big one, but more so if he can split push and then have ults, you know, from top lane or mid lane as a number advantage, it's going to be very good for Hawaii.
Avi stayed a little bit too long there, tried to counter jungle, but he still picked up that kill with his Undertow right as the stopwatch faded there for an Unwanted, so he's going to pick up a kill. I don't know if he got the kill before he died, which would give him a bigger bounty. I didn't quite see that. It'd be a couple hundred gold there, but we saw this the other night with split pushing. Talk to us about how hard it is to be a successful split pusher, because you guys had it where Wyoming had a Tryndamere pushing. He got an inhibitor, but his team never capitalized on that. So how do you be an effective split pusher?
I mean, there's two ways, obviously. The split pusher's goal is to draw pressure from the enemy team, you know, to make them force a bad play or something like that, but also the way to counter that is forcing somewhere else in the map. So if you know their top laner's top with no TP, you know you can force in their team, but you have to make the play, or else they'll get a lot for it. So it's a big, like, you give and you take, right?
Yeah, you mean you're going to give them towers, but if they can't get a Nexus and inhibitor, then they're not really going to do much, or if they die to Baron like we saw last night. We're going to hop onto the second Rift Herald here, a new change in this patch as well, that 2 Rift Heralds spawn, and it looks like, much like every other objective, Nevada should get this uncontested. Unwanted was there trying to get a smite steal, but he realizes his life's worth a little bit more than a Rift Herald, so he's going to back off. Second one over to Nevada. And Red Hots, where do you drop this?
It honestly just depends on the plays they're making. Usually you can go to a lane and force if you really want to. Like mid towers are usually hard since they already got the outer though. So they might look to make a play and then Herald after, or they might just look for like an outer tower to bottom top.
The Dragon is spawning. It is going to be Cloud Drake for the rest of the game. My favorite Drake. It gives you an extra 10% CDR on your ultimate. That does not matter. But Skull Chaos wants to shut down August Feb. He was pushing all alone, trying to get fed. Just eliminated off the map.
Yeah, this is an overstay by the MF there, and now they should be able to get the Dragon for free here coming up. And also, the biggest thing I noticed with Nevada is they're getting every objective, which is just a huge... Like, I think the biggest thing with this patch, with, like, you know, the Dragons and everything and the Double Heralds, I think if you were to not get any kills and you just play for nothing but neutral objectives, like, you just get so much advantage off of it, just purely off of, you know, Heralds and Dragons.
We're going to see an attempted gank coming on here to Price. Crimson Side going to ult under Talon. Dylan Kira is there as well. The ultimate comes out, but it's not enough healing. Teleport did come out from Endpoint as well as the members of Nevada look to try and collapse on these two members of Hawaii. Crimson Side going to be the first one to caught out. He's going to be blown off the mount, going to try and build courage stacks, but St. Daniel misses on the death sentence. The flay as well on the mount comes back up. He is in the death realm though, and M Price should have the advantage here. Unwanted is coming to try and save him. He's going to get the knockup right after the death realm ends, and now Endpoint finds himself trying a great hook, keeps Crimson Side alive, and the bullet time turns that fight around. That's 1 kill Hawaii.
These are great, answers from Hawaii there. The Kled just seeing that the Rock is alone after seeing everyone on the bot side and instantly pulling the trigger is honestly a very good play right there and making it so they're staying in the game.
Now we are going to have a dragon fight here. There was a ward, but it was pinked away by the side of Nevada. They're going to throw another one down as well. It does look like Nevada is going to keep going in on this dragon. They do have everyone but Endpoint alive, where 5 members of Hawaii are here. And here comes the Cavalry. Blitzcrank is going to throw the ward down. We see Unwanted just off your screen. This might turn into a smite battle. The death sentence is going to land on the jungler. He's forced to disengage. The box is going to come out. Price, the focus target right now. He's going to be the first one to go down. Custov and Unwanted are going to have to flash over the wall. Albie can't pick up that one, and the dragon has reset. Skull Chaos is trying to focus down the Akali, who's blown the shroud, is not able to get it with the silence. Now he picks up the double kill. Unwanted goes down as well. It's a triple kill, but the 2 other members of Hawaii are still here. They're going to jump right on top of August Feb. He stands no chance. That's a quadra. Give him the Penta, Nevada, but it's so hard to find a Kled. He's going to escape over the wall. Daniel trying to set up for that hook, couldn't get it, but a quadra kill over to Diana.
These are just crazy fights going on both sides. There's a lot of 4-man, 5-man objectives, and it seems like both teams kind of want it, but it seems like Nevada wants it more right now.
Do you think Hawaii might have been better off just sacrificing Jarvan with an EQ over the wall for a smite battle, or do you like that fight they took?
I mean, initially the fight was really good, right? The only problem is they ended up overstaying too much for the Olaf kill as the Akali. Like, Akali gets 2 kills, but they ended up actually paying the price for it. But it was also a really good Nevada look because they knew that Kled was on spawn, right? And that's basically where most of their gold is. So they wanted to force there, but I think it just might have been a little too early, or they, and of course, I think Hawaii went a little too far. Nevada punished them for it. So now the biggest thing is with the Cloud Soul next, spawning next, Hawaii basically has to play for it because Nevada gets so much stats. You get 10% flat movement speed now, and then plus the Nimbus Cloak on Olaf and, Mordekaiser and all these people is actually crazy.
And then with Diana picking up that quadra kill, she's 10-1-1. How does Hawaii play around that damage, especially with the new Diana, who can put out a lot of damage very quickly?
The biggest thing, I guess, is they just almost have to just try to not play around her, as weird as it sounds. You try to play, if she's in the side lane, you just have to try to force somewhere else, because the moment she comes into your team, she's going to kill everyone, get everyone as well.
So Nevada looking very good right now. The Diana putting the team on her back, at least for that fight, picking up the quadra. I'm disappointed that Crimson Side didn't give him the pen. I feel like if there's a quadra kill on the map, you just got to sacrifice yourself, right? Well, Dylan Carey, he's going to try and put down the shroud, but he can't get away from Skull Chaos. That damage is ridiculous, and that's a dead Akali.
Yeah, he just basically went back into that quadra kill and bought a full death cap, so there's really nothing stopping this Diana at this point. And, it's going to be very hard for Hawaii to come back from this one.
Now we're going to see Death Sentence is going to miss. Now the members of Nevada a little bit divided. Avi with a great dodge on the flag and drag. Might even want to turn this fight around as Crimson Side's going to go in. Here's the Blitzcrank hook. It's going to land right on top of St. Daniel. He's going to use his stopwatch. Bullet time's going to come out. That's 1 kill over to the side of Hawaii. The Cataclysm keeps him in, but Price is going to pick up the second one. Now we're going to see the Death Realm come out. Endpoint trying to pick up August Feb. That turret can still attack you. He does not care, and that's 2 over to the side of Nevada.
That just shows you how impressive Olaf can be right there, honestly. This guy has, basically full AD Olaf with Warrior, Black Cleaver and stuff. But the thing is, Olaf is if he tries to leave there at all and he has one set of hesitation, he actually dies there because his whole point is sustaining off of that, enemies as well. So he put it on.
Going to see the Baron here by Nevada controlling every objective on the map, not even letting Hawaii think about it. Hawaii is sort of charging down. Unwanted would have the smite if he wants to go for it. Not there in time, though. That's a Baron over to the red team.
Yeah, Nevada should be able to now at least 4-1 with, Diana in the side lane and close this game out, but I guess we'll have to see how that plays out.
And that also really shuts down any split push because it's so hard to split push for Crimson Side if he's trying to split push against Baron.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, especially there's no one in Hawaii who can match Diana in the slightest, so it's going to be very hard for them to deal with it.
Of course, Nevada also can set up around that next dragon. That would give them the soul point, give them the dragon soul, 10% movement speed, 40% movement speed every time they ult, which would be very nice for people like Olaf, people like Soraka, getting able to get into those fights. So that's going to be huge. And so I guess now we ask the question, you said just farm, feed your carries. Now what does Hawaii do to get back in this?
I mean, at this point, with Dyna this hard, like this fed, you basically have to try to make some miracle play of either getting a blitzcrank hook that can one-shot, or just taking 5 men in one side lane and taking a kill and just seeing what you can do. I almost think it'd be very hard to 5v5 with this Diana.
I almost think Skull Chaos wants to get hooked in because he might pick up a pentakill if he's 1v5.
Yeah, honestly, he might at this point. His ult, how Diana's ult now works is her initial ult does base amount of damage, but for every single target, she basically gets a bonus of about 100 something. So if she hits all 5, that's an extra like 500 damage on top of an extra like 600 damage.
There's a death cap, you've got a 10-stack Magi on there, you've got a full-stack Rada Ages. That is a lot of AP. Death Sentence going to miss from St. Daniel, but the pressure is still on those Baron minions, just shoving down, and I think Hawaii would be best served here just to give up any non-inhibitor turret. But now I can see Dylan Kira, he got caught in the stopwatch. He actually got pulled back in, but unfortunately the rest of his team's there, able to keep him alive, but that is going to put his stopwatch broken because he hasn't upgraded it to his Anyas yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, Nevada's making really good plays in side lanes as well, taking the Akali away from the fight, making sure that they're not really getting much of an opportunity, and it's their game to lose for this Baron at this point.
We're going to see a 4-man dive onto 2 members. The bullet time is going to come out. St. Daniel is going to eliminate Unwanted. In the Death Realm is the Blitzcrank. Endpoint does have to run away. He does get hooked under the tower. Dylan Kier trying to do what he can to take down that Soraka. We are going to see Endpoint pick up a kill before he dives to the tower. Dylan Kier is going to go down as well. Crimson Sight as well. And with Baron and minions pushing, this should be the game off that ace.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at this point, Dyna went in with QE at that point and just one-shot their entire backline. So Nevada taking this game 1.
And so we have to look ahead to game 2 here as these Nexus turrets and Nexus just melt. If you're Hawaii, I mean, you could argue almost everything deserves a respect ban, but you only get 5. So what do you target from that game, if anything, to ban out?
I don't really think it was their drafting because, I mean, honestly, the top side of the map made very good plays early on. However, I think the biggest problem, is Hawaii needed to push the top lane Kled, advantage even further instead of allowing Endpoint back with the Mordekaiser. He was farming, he was having good trades and all such. So I think, they have to just keep prioritizing top lane and, of course, not letting those huge gaps of gold to happen like the bottom dragon fight where they overstay and then Diana takes over the game with the quadra kill at that point.
If you're just joining us, Nevada was so gracious to come visit us here at the Game Pants Esports Arena, so we are letting them have the big stage. It's Nevada versus Hawaii in the Mountain West Esports Series, best of 3 in League of Legends. Nevada just took game 1. I'm joined by Red Hots, of course, the Boise State mid laner for League of Legends, and then the Sacklar. He is the Overwatch player for Nevada, coming off his victory over Boise State. And Sacklar, you said you haven't played League in a while, but I think even you realize that was a dominating win for Nevada.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was a 26-minute game. That's pretty quick for League of Legends.
And what is it like winning up on that stage? I mean, you guys have done it all day today, unfortunately. Sorry, Red Hots. But, I mean, what is it like winning up in front of that stage since you guys are looking for something like that with your program?
I mean, it's a great feeling hearing the crowd cheering, hearing people support you and give you that attention. It feels good.
You would know a lot about that, Red Hots, wouldn't you?
I mean, it always feels good on stage. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always nice to be on stage, see people cheering for you, see people reacting to your plays. It's always very nice.
Yeah, so as we hop into the second game here, Nevada was dominating. I think I've been saying it all day. I think that Thresh needs to be taken away from St. Daniel. I mean, he did a fantastic job, but Nevada did a great job. They forced Hawaii onto that Blitzcrank. Their coaches even said that's what they wanted. So if you're Hawaii, what do you want Nevada on, if anything?
I mean, at this point, I don't really think it's more of a champ pool, kind of scenario. I think it's more so learning what your game plan is. Nevada always was ready to retaliate with either the TP, flanks, or like they had people on the way countering everything. It felt like Nevada was ready for every play, whereas Hawaii would not think about the next step, but like the first good step, but then would always go a little too far.
Well, before we get into the picks and bans for the next game, here are some replays, and this was huge. This was a tie game. They tried to tower dive Skull Chaos, and both members go down with Obvi picking up a double kill.
Yeah, this is definitely a big point in the game where the game turns, because the moment you use that many resources, the double flash with J4 and Akali, and of course the Dyna goes up with double buffs, it's very hard to come back from that. tempo-wise.
And this was huge. Crimson Side had already gotten 2 kills. He had been bullying Endpoint in lane, but that teleport coming out right as he gets knocked off the mount. Skull Chaos is 1-0 at this point and just doing a ton of damage. And this is really where things started to snowball for Skull Chaos especially.
Yeah, this was like I was saying from earlier. It seemed like Nevada's TPs and stuff were always ready to, react in a good way as in a proactive play where they were waiting for the enemy team to overstep, and then they always come back with the TPs to make them pay for it.
And here we go. This is another one where right before this, it looked like Hawaii had actually won a trade, but it's almost as if Nevada baited them into it. The double kill for Avi, and with the new change to teleport, I don't even think it's that new at that point. You can't stop it anymore. So once Crimson Side committed, there's nothing he can do while he's watching his teammates die.
Yeah, but at that point, you just know it's just not going well.
He didn't even have flash. He can't even be spamming the flash key at that point. That was just unfortunate. And this was a great play where, yeah, you target down St. Daniel, but you had Endpoint. The bullet time, unfortunately, kind of whiffs. And so when you lose all that damage, immediately Nevada can turn it around.
Yeah, that's just one of the big things I know Dino always talks about a lot is if enemy teams are using ults and a lot of resources for your support and you die, it doesn't really matter, and you can just because you're the support, right? And so your other teammates should be able to take advantage of what those cooldowns are down and be able to win the fight.
And then this one really just sort of emphasizes how far ahead Nevada was. The bullet time comes out and the health bars don't even move.
Yeah, the MF could just seem to not be able to play the game at this point. I mean, if you take a full bullet time and take no damage, you know something's going up.
And the Sackler, I mean, how nice is it to see your fellow teammates, I mean, in a different game, but your fellow teammates doing really well?
I mean, it's a great feeling coming out on stage. Even though I don't play League of Legends, I'm always happy to support my fellow teammates of Nevada Esports, and I can hope they can do the same thing in Game 2.
Well, it has unfortunately been Nevada's day here. As the Sacklar mentioned, they came up to visit us, and they let us know they are a force to be reckoned with, taking League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch in our Hardwood Classic Series. And then, of course, right now we have the Mountain West Esports Series. We're hosting Nevada. They are taking on Hawaii. We're about to go into Game 2. Nevada just ran roughshod over Hawaii in Game 1. Could we see a Diana ban first for Hawaii Red Hots? I mean, that was pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, it could be possible, but just the biggest thing is I think they executed early and, let Diana take advantage of that, and she basically snowballed out of control at that point as an assassin. And I think the biggest thing that Hawaii needs to this game is they had really good plays and proactive plays. I think the biggest thing is just making sure that not, one side of Nevada is getting too far ahead or they're, not pushing their luck too much.
I think I have to agree with you because we even saw in those replays, Nevada was winning the early game. I mean, it was all Crimson Side. He got 2 kills top lane in 5 minutes, and then they just sort of tried to snowball that into continuous kills, and it didn't work. So as a mid laner, talk to me. Where do you want to be ganked by the junglers because you can survive, or do you not want to be ganked because it's going to slow you down? Where do you want the enemy jungler to be going as a mid laner?
I mean, usually mid laning it's nice if where the jungler is on the other side of the map, and it depends what plays you want to make. So let's say Hawaii's side would honestly, if he sees a jungler bot side, that's fine for him because then he should make a play top side. It's more so wanting the jungler on the opposite side of the map and then making a play on cross map, of course. It's one of the biggest terms for League and especially pro play as well is cross mapping. When a play is happening top lane, you want to make sure you're having to play bot lane. So.
And with the jungle changes in this patch, the experience for jungling is very, very low unless you're power farming like we saw Avi doing on the Olaf. So what really happened is Unwanted kept ganking, kept failing, and he just fell so far behind it really felt like he could never duel that Olaf.
Well, the biggest thing about jungle XP, it's kind of weird because if you're only farming and you're not ganking, the chances are of the ganking the jungler, he'll actually be even with you. The thing was obviously kept taking his camps as well. So he took his red buff, he took his he took the scuttle crabs, which are huge XP, and he was basically just taking advantage of every single time the J4 was on the map, and he knew where he was and taking those camps.
So I would think that the first priority then for Hawaii is vision on the jungler. Vision, where is Avi? Where can we play around him? Can we even... Because that's the one thing with counter jungling. You can catch him. If the mid can rotate up if he's taking blue buff, or if the mid can rotate down with the bot lane when he's taking red, that's how you have to punish someone who plays that aggressive.
Yeah, I just think it comes to, making sure you're warding the strong side that you're working around, right? So since Hawaii was playing on top side, they should make sure that every top side camp for Nevada is warded so they know exactly where the jungler is.
And talk to me about that, because you don't get wards for free anymore. You can only buy the pink wards that everyone can see. Is there a time where spending gold on wards actually is bad because you're putting yourself so far behind, or are wards just more valuable than any item could be?
I mean, usually a pink ward's almost always worth just because you get so much value from it. Usually how pink wards now are they're more so like control points, I guess. You know, if you have you're trying to put your control ward down to like protect it, so you have that infinite vision, and then you're using trinkets to get, you push your lead. So the pink ward is definitely war worth, items all the time.
We'll have to see if Hawaii takes that advice. As we can see behind us, the coaches for Nevada, they loved game one. They wanted Hawaii on that blitzcrank, and they got it. So we'll have to see maybe the same thing. Maybe they try and bait Hawaii onto that blitzcrank again. Maybe Hawaii figures it out. It does sound, though, like Tarek is a very high priority ban. Definitely something that they want to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, that champ's just can be super impressive sometimes, especially if you don't have the right communication. He can take advantage of teams for sure. Like, even though if he's in that game and Nevada looks to turn these fights with Terracle, they can 100% lose those fights.
Given Hawaii's performance on that blitzcrank pick, what kind of changes do you think we can see going into game 2 in the bot lane?
I don't know. I think it was more so Nevada kept playing it very well, as in, when the Rocket got hooked, there would always be the Lantern from Thresh. Whenever Thresh got hooked, Rocket would heal him. So I think it was more so you take one of those away. I think, you take the Rocket away, honestly, and then force him into an 80 carry support matchup. So where if that blitzcrank keeps hitting the pools in the 80 carry, you honestly should be able to win those trades at that point.
And then, Sackler, to throw it over to you, non-League of Legends related, why don't you just walk the viewers through what it went into coming up to Boise? What was the trip like? What's your schedule? What has that kind of been like for you guys?
Currently we are still a club on campus, so we have to do everything through our student union, get the club funding. And then we were able to get a hotel, but unfortunately we had to pay for our own gas because it's too far. And we're just really excited to be up here.
I mean, was it like everybody gets out of class on a Friday and you guys just bolt up here kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. No, one of my teammates actually had a class, like a 3 p.m. class. And so, I was up here. I got here like 9 o'clock probably, and half my team was still in Oregon, so it was kind of chaotic, but we made it work.
Yeah, that's what I heard about the rest of the Nevada guys, because I went out to eat with them yesterday, but they had, I think it was Endpoint and their other subs and stuff, and their other coach didn't get to come in until 9, 10 p.m. because they had a class later on.
Well, we're glad you guys made it here. You guys have made the most of it as we hop into Game 2 picks and bans. Tarek and Aphelios, once again, the targets for Nevada. Same for Hawaii, though. The Kiana and the Gangplank being taken away, and then one more Orin banned as well.
See, the thing is, right now, I guess, with the meta is the bans are more so going to stay the same every game just because these champions are so oppressive that you have to, ban them out or deal with other champs such as Diana because she's not worth the ban at this point.
What about the Thresh, though? I mean, St. Daniel has been so oppressive on that Thresh. To me, that almost feels like it should get a ban, but it's going to be the Akali taken away.
I mean, it's really hard to afford it just because, especially Hawaii's this side, when you're red side, you have to ban Akali. And, in this point, because they can flex as well as they did last game. So it's really hard for them to actually forfeit a ban for that. And so they obviously thought that it wasn't worth them to ban the Thresh.
So Nevada is going to get first pick here. They are up 1-0 in this best of 3, so they are on match point trying to carry what they just did. And the Rumble pick, and you're talking about flex, he can go bot, or he can go top, he can go mid, or maybe if you're Boise State, I don't know if Nevada saw that, but he can also go bot lane.
Yeah, he's mainly just a mid-top flexer now. That's a very strong pick, especially in the melee champs. Rumble basically almost wins every melee matchup just because of his flamethrower, and every time you go trade with him, it just does an absurd amount of damage, and he's just a great first pick.
And the Equalizer, I mean, we've seen it. That can turn ganks around immediately because it does so much damage. Crimson side, he had a decent amount of success on that Kled, so he is going to lock that in. I can't even ask you about the matchup because I have no idea where Rumble's going.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Rumble top versus Kled, it seems like this guy plays his trades pretty well. It just depends on the end of the day on how you individually play these lanes.
Now, the Hawaii side will get first priority if they want to take that jungler. That Olaf was huge for Obvi, so that might be something. The Echo picked in another one of those flex. It's died a little bit in popularity, but Echo jungle or Echo mid are both definitely on the table right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I'm maybe jungle, but like you said, it's a good mid-jungle flex that it's also a very good answer into Olaf. So maybe they want Nevada to go Olaf and have the Nevada, the Echo as a counter pick almost.
Well, the Soraka is going to be taken there by Nevada. They had a lot of success with it. Who knows? Maybe they want to jungle with it. We can basically put it in any other role. I don't think we'll see a jungle, but I would assume bot lane. There's the Pyke, though. That's not Thresh if they do lock that in. Do you still like Pyke Soraka as much as Thresh Soraka?
I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure that's Pyke mid, if I'm being honest, just because Skull Chaos plays a lot of Pyke mid. So I think they're going to be looking to more so use that Pyke to roam top and bot more and look to make plays. I think the Rocket did a really good job last game of doing what they wanted to do. The ult's just super impressive, and Champ overall is just very hard to play against with how much healing she has.
There's the Blitzcrank once again for Hawaii. I thought he had a lot of great hooks. He just never seemed to land it on the right target, and even when he did, Soraka has so much healing that it really didn't matter. Misfortune going to be taken away there by the side of Hawaii, banning that away from Nevada. So we're going to see at least one new AD carry this game.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I guess I think they saw that the Rocket can still be flexed, so they would rather not take the chance of playing against MF.
And so you said you thought it was a Pyke mid. What does a Pyke mid bring to the table?
Pyke mid is a super snowbally roam champ. You know, he basically his whole goal is to get other people involved with his ult, you know, for your cut, and especially if he gets far enough ahead, where if he gets his solo kill on himself, he gets double the amount of gold, and that just that lets him just, you know, snowball the rest of the game.
So we see the Olaf ban taken away there by Nevada, since the first pick is on the side of Hawaii. Lee Sin once again taken away as well, and then the Leona banned against from Hawaii. And as Red Hot said earlier, one of the more oppressive supports in the meta right now. Does look like we need at least an 80 carry. It is. They hovered the Senna that we've seen this a lot in pro play. I haven't seen it at the collegiate level yet, but it's definitely one of those things where people have had a lot of success with it.
I mean, it's a super impressive champion just because she has infinite scaling with her soul that she can get, but the biggest thing right now is the Glacial Augment build, where her Q applies on-hit effects, so if you Q through Senna and stuff, you can slow entire teams with that, and so she's just a very good pick as well, because she has a safe pick, that is.
And then the rest of the team is complementary, because the one thing is that Q not only does damage, it also heals. You have 3 melee members who in a team fight are going to be in melee range, so if they get hit by the Senna Q, not only are you doing damage, not only are you slowing, you're also healing your teammates.
Yeah, especially if they're old as well, with the huge AoE it has with the shield and the damage in the front. It's just a really good champ that it seems like in pricey play, in pro play, it is just a very good champion.
Going to see the Vladimir picked up there for the side of Nevada. Another one of those flex. It's almost impossible to lock down who is going where right now.
At this point, I'm pretty sure the Vlad's going mid.
Pyke support and then a Rumble top lane, unless they want to flex.
Actually, it might be Rumble jungle, honestly.
That would be the one thing where I would say the jungle would be the interesting point for Nevada. Meanwhile, for Hawaii, we think they're looking for a jungle or a mid lane. Echo can flex either way. Kindred being covered to me tells me that is an Echo mid and a Kindred jungle. So they want to, once again, they're going to throw everything at Nevada. No tanks. We just want to see if we can kill you before you can survive.
Yeah, I mean, the Kindred's actually a super good pick in this situation, just because if Pyke ends up getting, a fair lead, it makes it so that if Kindred ults, and then Pyke can't reset, it's very hard for him. But at the same time, it also can be very bad where if she uses it at the beginning and then everyone gets low, Pyke can just, fully reset pentakill at that point.
Well, you were right. It is a Rumble jungle. Everything else flexed around. Pyke and Soraka in the bot lane, Vladimir in the mid, and then the Lucian up in the top lane there. So is Rumble one of those junglers he's not traditional? Can Kindred invade and sort of bully him in those early clears because Rumble doesn't have a lot of healing?
I mean, yeah, theoretically it seems as if, Hawaii has a good, early jungle mid matchup just because Echo always pushes it and Vlad is looking to scale. So they could look to invade this Rumble early, but I guess we'll see how it plays out.
If you're just tuning in, we are watching Hawaii versus Nevada in the League of Legends Mountain West Esports Series. I've got Red Hot, the Boise State mid laner on the desk with me, and then the Saklar, the Overwatch player for Nevada, as their team drove up to visit us here on the desk. So Nevada on match point, and we'll start with you, Saklar. Different game, but is there still more pressure on a team when you know you're on match point, or is it the pressures on the other team because they can't afford to lose?
I definitely think Hawaii is in the hot seat here. You saw Skull Chaos go 11-1 on Diana. I would be shaking in my boots if I was Hawaii right now.
And then for you, Red Hots, let's get matchup oriented. We've seen the teams, a lot of flex coming out from Nevada. I mean, how do you like this matchup from the Nevada angle?
Nevada actually has a very, pretty diverse team comp, honestly. Lucian top lane into melees is usually a pretty common thing, just because it's very easy for him to take a pressure of that. And then their mid bot side is definitely a very interesting way, because the Rocka Pike lane can be really impressive with the jungler coming as well.
Well, before we get into Game 2, we have to do some grading here on Game 1. It is time for the midterm progress report. Usually Red Hots is the one getting graded, so now he gets the chance. Very simple, Sackler. I'll explain it to you. Just a grade in one sentence for each of these categories. I'll start with the draft for Nevada. I thought it was an A. I mean, they did everything they wanted to. That Soraka was a perfect counter to a Blitzcrank.
Yeah, I mean, I agree as well. It's super hard to, draft, to know what they're doing with that, just because there's so many different flex picks, and you don't even know where each one's going.
I'm going to give them an A+. They said they actually wanted them to play that Blitzcrank, so getting the enemy to play into your own game, perfect.
Vision control, once again, I'm going to give that an A for Nevada. There was nothing Hawaii could do to try and sneak up on them. There was maybe one cheeky Blitzcrank hook. Other than that, Nevada had their way with the jungle.
I think it was a B more so just because early game they did not at least ward topside enough, or not enough help for the top lane Mordekaiser, just because J forward to avoid the wards, and got to get those ganks off.
I'm going to give them a B+ because I do agree with you. In the early game, there was some lack of vision. However, I felt like they were able to control most of the objectives on the map after about the 5-minute mark.
Speaking of objective control, I don't know how you can't give them an A+. Anything they wanted was theirs. I don't even know if Hawaii got more than one turret. Everything on the map belonged to Nevada.
Oh, yeah, absolutely A+. I mean, they got both heralds. They got every dragon early. They even got everything on respawn, which was nice. I mean, since the first dragon, they just got it on repeat for everything that came up.
A+, Nevada, perfect across the board.
Maybe a little bit of bias grading. I'm not sure here yet. Time management, I'm going to give them an A-. I do think early on they probably could have used some support for that top side, getting an earlier gank so that Crimson side wasn't 2-0. But like you said, Red Hots, they took every dragon the moment it spawned.
Yeah, I'll probably give them an A, honestly. They made really good plays knowing which TPs they had up and advantages they had.
I would give them an A as well. I felt like their rotates were all solid.
And then team fights, I'm hard-pressed to think of a real 5v5 team fight. Maybe there was one at the Dragon, ended in a quadra kill, so I guess that means it's an A+.
Yeah, I mean, A+ as well. I don't think they lost a single team fight that game in terms of, 2 for 2. I think everything at least went even for them at the very least.
S+, when you have Skull Chaos killing 4 members of the team by himself, that's a job well done.
I'm going to be a stickler. I think an S+ requires a pentakill, Sacklar. But
true.
But we'll keep it at that. We'll visit that in the final progress report. But that is something you love to take home to mom and dad and show them. So we're about to hop in. Red Hots for Hawaii. Early level 2 gank maybe, because you do have a Rumble jungle. He's going to be a lot slower?
Yeah, I think Hawaii just needs to make sure that they keep playing the game they had last game, just more so minor adjustments. The Blitzcrank actually did a fantastic job of getting all those picks and hooks. It just sucked that, there's nothing they could have done at that point in the game, and the AD carry got too far behind, so it was really hard for them to make plays. So I think if Hawaii stays in the game and honestly has the same mindset as they had last game, they could definitely, rival them.
Given that Thresh is off the table and we have a Pike now, do you think that the Blitzcrank will be able to push that advantage better?
That is true. If the Blitzcrank is hitting hooks onto Rocka more this game, it's going to be very hard for her to get a free, get out a free card with the Lantern. However, I think if you hook Pike, it's actually really hard just because he has the E right away. But a thing with Blitzcrank is if he hooks and holds his knockup, he can actually stop his, mid E with his animation.
Speaking of animation, just being spammed all over the screen. And when there's a Blitzcrank, an invade is coming. A nice ward there from Nevada's going to catch it out. The hook just barely misses, and this could turn around immediately. August Feb trying to do what damage he can. He'll collect a couple souls, but we were that close to Nevada being caught there.
Seems like the Blitzcrank was a little trigger happy to start the game right there. Honestly, if you walk into him and you just hold that for a little bit, it could change the factor of that, but seems both sides are still even.
I mean, that was a great ward as well by Nevada. They knew exactly where that gank was coming from, so they were ready. It is interesting to note that the Dark Harvest on Obvi means he wants to gank. He wants to get those Dark Harvest stacks, so we probably are going to see a very aggro Rumble.
Yeah, usually junglers, like AP junglers and stuff, only Elise is the only one who really goes Electrocute just because she can get the full 3 spells off, but a majority of jungles actually end up going Dark Harvest just because they're not going to be, triggering that Electrocute all the time.
So we'll have to see how that Rumble jungle responds. That first clear, I'm sure, is going to be brutal, and I do have to give a shout out. The Rumble in the jungle skin is fantastic. There's no other skin you can play. With Kindred starting red buff, though, and having his mark on Obvi, to me that means he wants to start at that blue. We're going to see a hook in onto St. Daniel, but just as you mentioned, Red Hots, you can hook a Thresh, but he can immediately get away.
Yep. I mean, the moment you hook Pike, especially level 1, he's just going to get out of there. But this is also a good showing of what Kindred can do on the invade here.
The invade onto Obvi. The Flame Splitter did a decent amount of damage. He's going to have to disengage, though. It does look like that blue dropping low, not quite in smite range yet. It is actually going to go over to Obvi, and now support's on the way. Endpoints there. Unwanted goes down. An invade gone wrong, and it's First Blood Nevada.
The initial invade was really good there. However, this is when the illusion pick ends up coming into play. Because mid lane, actually, Echo has the first rotation just because the nature of Echo early versus Vladimir. However, the Lucian should have pressure almost non-stop, and the moment that Kindred, stays there for however long, it makes it really hard for her to keep staying in the jungle without the top lane coming in and interfering.
And the other thing is with getting that smite, you do get that heal bonus. I don't know if it would have saved him, but Unwanted might have wanted to try and smite for health there. As you see, Obvi gets a little bit more. Unwanted is going to die for that. So I thought that was a fantastic rotation. As you mentioned, and there's nothing Dylan Kira could do. He was just cut off.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, the thing of early invades is really scary just because the moment an enemy laner comes into play, it's very hard to, react to that. Because at that point, the play is basically just over for your team if they're too slow behind.
So that is early advantage. Hawaii already up to a 1K gold lead with 2 people getting assist on that as well. But we are seeing the power of this Hawaii bot lane. Not much Nevada can do, being forced to sit under their tower. We do see that Crimson side is dropping very low, a much different matchup than last time. I mean, what is it like laning against an AD carry in a non-traditional bot lane role?
Usually it's, it can be fine because you can usually all in them, but the fact with Lucian is he always has that dash and the movement speed from his W, so he's always just weaving in autos everything you do, so it's just super impressive to even try to be able to do anything. Oh, that was almost really scary, actually.
Yeah, the electric harpoon looked like it hit, but right as the teleport to base had gone back off, or I should say the back to base had gone off, so couldn't be stopped there. Dylan Kira is going to try and jump in onto Skull Chaos. The shield is down, the stun not quite able to land. There were mere inches that kept that Vladimir alive.
Yeah, it seems like the Echo went into the stun bubble a little bit too early instead of the W, because if you'd have waited the half second, it probably actually would have stunned him.
So unfortunately no kill there, but that is some pressure that Hawaii can establish, but Endpoint doing a ton of damage. Crimson side just got back to lane, had to use that teleport, couldn't pick up much. He only has a long sword to show for it, and he's almost immediately knocked off that mountain. And meanwhile, this Rumble in the jungle has been successful. I mean, once you fend off that early invade, it's so hard to invade when you're 0-1 as a Kindred.
Yeah. I mean, the moment that invade goes poorly, it's very hard to, get tempo back into the game, just because you're going to be behind tempo the entire game. Wow, that was
Skull Chaos doing what he does best.
Yeah, no kidding. That guy is a very good scaling player, just because usually stuff like that's not supposed to happen to Vladimir, because you have that disadvantage of not having much damage early game, but he takes a really good job of taking advantage of trades.
Endpoint maybe got a little bit too aggressive here. The flash came out from both members. Crimson side just trying to get in range, but that dash, as you mentioned, Red Hot, means it's so hard to get a pick onto that Lucian.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he might go down there, honestly, with how the Kled was playing it, but looks like he knows his limits in the champ.
We're going to see there is a lot of damage. Dylan is not level 6 yet, so if maybe we can get one more kill for Nevada on that mid laner, he cannot go back in time. The root is going to land onto St. Daniel. The knock-up as well. He is the focus target for Hawaii. They have not used the hook yet. They are saving it for that last-second stun. They're not even going to use it at all. This is why I don't like Pike. He just has so much built-in healing the moment you lose vision on him.
Yeah, no, it definitely is super annoying passive, but, I mean, it was a good look from Hawaii. It just seems like the hook just came out a little late, or just didn't come out at all, of course.
And then he's just going to get healed back up by Soraka, so Nevada able to maintain that pressure in the bot lane.
That's the one thing you have to do bot lane is you have to make sure you're focused in the rock, or else you just basically heal, whoever you damage back up.
As we do see here, the CS advantage is on the side of Nevada, except in that bot lane where Senna is up almost 20. So that is something to be wary of. And definitely keeping in mind, as you mentioned, how many souls she has. Because this would be one of those lanes where it's a little bit easier to farm souls because there's not as much oppressive pushback from as you would see from maybe an 80 carry on the side.
Yeah, I mean the big thing though when it comes to CS leads and stuff is CS leads can make a big difference, but when you know that your team's playing around top side, it doesn't hurt to be behind CS if you're not dying and giving the enemy team an advantage, especially with Raka in terms of just gold efficiency. she doesn't really need the most amount of gold to be able to lane against these people later in the game, whereas Senna just needs, at least 2 to 3 items to really get going later on.
As we do see, the pickaxe is picked up by August Feb, trying to build that mana immune as quickly as possible. Senna, unlike Israel, cannot stack a Tear of the Goddess as quickly as we do see Price was, I don't know what Blitzcrank was doing. He just sort of saw an AFK Soraka and was like, oh, I don't want to get you a hook on you. So he'll survive.
Well, the biggest thing right there is really scary just because, A, they don't know where the jungler is, and then B is Pike can be from fog of war, and it's really hard to actually be able to engage here. Actually, they might look for some damage.
Yeah, the root lands on to St. Daniel, but unfortunately, you can't have Pike as your focus targets in this lane. His ability to heal that darkened health bar up whenever you can't see him, plus the healing from Price means if you're not focusing Soraka, you're basically kind of wasting your time.
That's why it's kind of hard with the Blitzcrank early, I guess, if Blitz hits a hook, of course, on one of them, it's really hard for Senna to actually get this DPS off just because of the nature of how the champ works early.
Gonna see a hook onto St. Daniel. He's able to get away, and Avi is right there. He is going to pick up a Dark Harvest that, meanwhile, Unwanted's going to jump on Skull Chaos in the mid lane there. The pull is still available, and he might try and turn this fight around. It's Unwanted's only level 4, but it's not enough damage as Dylan Kier is going to pick up that kill.
That was a really good Kindred look, obviously, because they don't have any top 10 vision, so they don't know where the Kindred is, and knowing that the Vlad pull is down, it's easy cleanup for Kindred.
Kindred finally able to sort of get back into the game, only level 4 due to that failed engage, and now we go. Here comes Dylan Kira is going to be jumped on there, the Ignite. Unfortunately for Avi, he is overheated, and here comes Crimson's side, so a gank gone wrong for Nevada, and they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it seems like both sides, try to make some plays happen there, but ends up just stalemating and going back to lanes.
Avi is going to fall back, trying to get 6 for that equalizer there. The Ocean Dragon, the first one to spawn there, and with one unconventional jungler and a Kindred who's still trying to make up for that XP gap, I don't think we're going to see that dragon die very early.
Yeah, it basically just depends if there's a bot play in the next couple of minutes, but until then, it's just probably to be one of those nature objectives that just sits up for a little bit.
St. Daniel tried to go in, and here's Crustaboy trying to get a revenge kill here, looking for the knockup. We're going to see St. Daniel jump in on August Feb, dropping very low. He is rooted. There's the knockup as well. The ultimate isn't going to hit. The Soraka heal might be enough. He's dropping very low. He will finally go down. That is a kill over to the side of Hawaii.
Yeah, it almost was a scary scenario for Hawaii's balling just because they put so much into the Pike, but the Rocco was just killing nonstop, and eventually they ended up getting him, but it looked scary looking first.
Yeah, almost was able to get under that tower, almost was able to be kept alive. Don't think he hit 6 until he was too low to ult on to August Feb. Now we're going to see Endpoint being jumped on. Unwanted is there as well. He's got double buff. Endpoint trying to do what he can. He will use the culling to get away. It's not enough damage, though, and Kindred now starting to ramp up for Hawaii.
That was a very well played play by the enemy Cloud there, just because knowing that Endpoint had to push the lane in all the way, he knew he had an opportunity to do all in here. Ooh.
Avi tried for the equalizer, but a perfect ultimate by Unwanted keeps both of them alive, and another kill goes over to Kindred.
Yeah, the scary thing about right there was Kled was actually out of mount, but with the Kindred ult allowing him to get back into mount, it was really hard for obviously to actually do anything there. Hawaii's making some very good counterplays right now.
I mean, that is the one thing Kindred does have on the Rumble, is that equalizer does a ton of damage, but it doesn't matter the damage you do if nobody can die in it, and that's exactly what we saw. Now we see another gank, a perfect hook onto Skull Chaos. Dylan Curie is going to kind of go in. There is the pool. He might not be able to get back, but Spirit Daniel's there. We're going to have to see the recall by Dylan Curie, and nothing comes up from it. But those Blitzcrank hooks are so much more scary when you don't have a lantern to bring you to safety.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of miscommunication on Hawaii right there, though, because it seems like Echo was not on the same page of Blitzcrank hitting the hook there, because if Echo's in position there, he can get a good trade-off, and, Vlad becomes on the play now.
From St. Daniel.
Zone hook, there he goes, slams it down. The true damage, sharing his gold with Avi, so a great turnaround. A little bit too overzealous, trying to kill one ward there for Blitzcrank.
Yeah, St. Daniel just, taking his signature picks of hook champs and, these Pike and Thresh is just really a lot of pressure on the map by him, honestly.
CEO of hooks.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, it seems like when you're playing against the guys just everywhere when it comes to those hook plays, the Blitzcrank thinks he has their own mid, but it turns out Pike's right on the corner.
You do see Nevada was setting up around that dragon. Nothing going to come of it, though. with that Rumble jungle, but they do want to try a little invade. You see the pings coming out from the side of Nevada. They want to surround them at that blue buff. You see Avi and St. Daniel there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dylan Cury's going to try and jump on Skull Chaos. That sustain from Vladimir already has that echo at half-life, and that ultimate not available, so he's not able to get away. And here we go, the equalizer on to Unwanted. He's able to jump away with Lamb, and this might be a re-engage here from Hawaii. Avi is caught out all alone. The overheated on the shield means no damage is coming out, and now they want to take the fight going forward. Price is going to get ignited. Crimson's side is in the bot lane with a teleport. The center snipe is going to miss, but a ton of damage is coming out. Endpoint's going to be ringed back in, and he is going to go down as well. A disaster for Nevada means it's 3 kills for Hawaii.
Yeah, they had a really good setup looking up into that, but it seems like they just went a little too deep with not enough, vision or knowing where they were. That was a really good Hawaii play, honestly, to come back into the game, and it's a huge play for them.
They are going to pick up that Ocean Dragon, something that is going to hurt the poke ability of Nevada because they are able to heal up. We see the Mountain Dragon, the next one on the board. So what can Nevada do at this point now to get back into this game? Because they sort of have had everything go wrong for them.
I mean, they're in a fine spot just because, at the end of the day, Nevada's team is more so of a scaling comp. I mean, Lucian turns into more of a split pusher later in the game, which is kind of scary, but with the Rumble and, Vladimir scaling with the Raka, it's actually completely fine because the thing right now is, Skull Chaos and the Vladimir mid has a huge advantage right now. He has a CS lead, and he's got 2 plates mid. The guy, he's just super scaling at this point, and he's fine with it.
Yeah, I do think the quicker they can get the gold onto Avi, the better.
Ooh.
Unfortunately for St. Daniel, he's going to fat finger that flash. So that is going to be something we'll have to keep in mind. We are going to see the first Rift Herald dropped up in the top lane, trying to get a couple of plates and that first tower for the side of Nevada. I guess I can say if there's a champion that doesn't need flash, it's probably Pyke.
No, because his E-Flash is actually a huge engage tool, but I think what happens is he might have been timing summoner spells. Enter, type in the center spell, then you might have pressed enter and F, and might have just F'd. Because, I mean, it completely happened.
So we'll have to see. We might even see a second charge here from the Rift Tail, dropping very low. No Crimson Side is barely able to save his tower. And it looks like a re-engage might be on here, Unwanted, and Crimson Side. He's going to pop the ultimate and try and jump in onto Endpoint. Teleport is coming out, though, and Crimson Side bit off more than he can chew. The Wolfpack always travels in a herd, and Hawaii just learned that. Unwanted's going to drop the ultimate, though. He's going to keep his team alive just for now. It's going to heal everyone. Crimson Side with the first shutdown. Dylan Cury trying to jump in on that back line. He's going to ult away to safety, and now he's going to drop very low. He's not going to get stunned, though, but St. Daniel picks up the kill. That is 3-0 Nevada.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about when Nevada was in a better spot with that Vladimir scaling. I mean, Vladimir TP'd, and he just is absolutely massive at this point with the CS he has and the plates mid, so guy's just turning into a late game monster at this point. Also, the nice thing to note is Vladimir's build path. This is actually kind of weird. Like before he finished the Proto Belt, he had Phoenix Codex and the Kindle Gem. And basically, you're just trying to get as much CDR as you can, cap out of that 40% as fast as possible. So you usually just buy those 2 components first and work your way to 40% CDR to really start pushing off in the game.
I mean, he also got a 600 gold shutdown bonus as well in that fight, so he's going to have a ton of gold to play with. I think Rumble also he got a decent number of stacks there on his Dark Seal. That's going to help. It does look like August Feb is isolated there, but unfortunately nothing's going to come of it as his Blitzcrank was right behind. And now Hawaii might want to turn this fight around. Blitzcrank does get silenced. He's going to silence St. Daniel. Not going to land the hook, however, and that is going to be a little bit of a disengage, but St. Daniel says, I want to go back in. The Senna ult's going to come out, and here is Endpoint. The Ignite's going to land on August Feb. He's going to get hooked back into the fight. He's all alone in that alcove, and that is another kill for Nevada.
That's a great roam from Endpoint here. He knows his top wave's pushing out, and he knows that there's nothing that he can really lose from going to bot center at this point, and he knows the bot lane's pushing up, so that's a really good play by him overall.
Flash going to be expelled there by Unwanted, has to get away from that Rumble, and things have turned in a hurry. Nevada even on kills. They have a 3K gold lead as Crimson Side should be able to get that tower, but there comes the equalizer. A great job by Avi to force him off that tower, while Endpoint still gets the push in the bot lane.
Yeah, the big thing right now is Nevada's starting to kind of take point in this game. However, I think both sides could probably do a better job of vision when it comes to either starting someone else vision or just making sure they get vision so someone else can probably completely push up.
Flash expelled there by Blitzcrank. I think he thought he had an easy hook onto Skull Chaos, but it is so hard to take care of Vladimir, especially with that pool. Now they want to chase down Unwanted. It's Avi versus Unwanted. St. Daniel in the background. He is going to miss the hook. It's not going to matter, though. No ult. Crimson Side too slow to rotate over, and now Crimson Side finds himself up in the top lane in a very bad spot as we got Skull Chaos get the kill just in time to come up back here. We do see Avi very, very low. We're not going to see a kill there, so a great disengage by Crimson side.
Yeah, it seems like Hawaii at this point is very flustered in their plays where, before they're making very confident plays with numbers and such. And it seems like Nevada at this point is just everywhere before them at this point. They're always there. They're always ahead of them. It seems like they're always reacting in a good way.
Another Rift Herald should go over to the side of Nevada, so they'll pick up the second one of the game, once again controlling every single neutral objective that they can. And I really think the trouble here is trying to shut down Skull Chaos on that Vladimir Hughes to the point where it is almost impossible unless it's like a 2v1 or even a 3v1.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's just going to keep scaling until he gets like 3 base items, and it's going to be very, very hard to kill him or, even react to him with the flash, ult.
As we do see here, and I do want to point out, once again we see August Feb, he's going with the Executioner's Calling, obviously to shut down that healing for Skull Chaos, but as you mentioned, Senna's one of those 80 carries that needs a ton of items, so does that put Hawaii even further behind building that?
Not really, just because Senna has her, Souls passive, which is kind of nice. So I think the biggest thing right here is scaling up a little bit more where Senna can get like one of her early lethality items to start doing a little bit more damage, and then somehow getting the Kindred Marks to make it so they can counter carry the late game.
We do see everybody setting up around that Mountain Dragon there, just going to give passive tankiness to both sides, something that I'm sure both teams would like. I'm sure Hawaii would like that even more. But now Dylan Curie is going to be caught out in a bad spot, waiting for him to dash. Unfortunately, St. Daniel can't get to him, but the chase is on. Unwanted, though, is going to turn this fight around. There is a flanker behind them as well. It is Crimson side. We're going to see the Senna snipe. It's going to land onto Price. A ton of damage coming out. Crimson side now channeling down St. Daniel. He doesn't have flash. He just used it already. Obvious trying to find Unwanted. And now we're going to see, here comes the rest of the cavalry though. The shutdown is going to go onto Price, but here's Endpoint. He's going to get the first kill. Darren Killian's very low. He's going to flash over the wall for that one, and it's now a 3-on-3. Skull Chaos dropping very low, goes into the pool, doesn't get enough healing with the Ignite coming out, but a shutdown and a triple kill comes out. Endpoint now going to, didn't even let him get the Quadra. Avi picks it up, but a great turnaround fight by Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii actually ended up making a very good play at the beginning, but however, it seems like they just overextended and Nevada ended up coming down with the Lucian top lane as their AD carry this time and cleaning up.
Yeah, that was another great teleport there. That time from Endpoint, was hoping for the Quadra kill, but Avi's going to steal it for himself. That's a Mountain Dragon over to the side of Nevada. That's going to make them a little bit more tanky here. And then the Infernal Dragon for the rest of the game is going to be something both teams would love to have.
Yeah, I mean, Infernal Soul, I think, is one of the better ones. I think Ocean and Infernal Soul are the two best, just because Ocean Soul makes it so hard to kill, but the Infernal Soul is really nice just because champs that really can't do that insane burst damage get a little bit more, like the Vladimir, for example. Like if he gets that Dragon Soul, his Qs and ults are just going to do even more damage and usually can finish the kills off.
And either team is going to need 3 Infernal Drakes to get the Dragon Soul. That means it's going to be a decent amount of AD and AP. It was significantly nerfed down from 10% to 4%, but you can't complain about 12% free AP.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot out there. I mean, especially for the first Dragon, once you get later in the game with how much AP and AD you build up to that point, where it's not like an early game anymore.
St. Daniel trying to get a hook. He is going to hook Blitzcrank right over the wall, and Blitzcrank taking a ton of damage. That Dark Harvest just eliminated him, and that's going to be a pick for Nevada.
I mean, Nevada's doing a good job of trying to get vision at this point and making sure that whenever they're, Hawaii's looking for vision, they're taking advantage of that. So St. Daniel sitting there knowing that the Blitzcrank's going for the vision and taking advantage of that's also a really good play.
You have the Baron spawning in just 5 seconds, so another pick for Nevada might mean a Baron of Skull Chaos diving very far. We're going to see the Rift Herald summoned as well by Avi, trying to get as much out of that as possible. Skull Chaos is just proxying right now. He doesn't even care about the turret. He let the Herald Ina, her new name, the second Rift Herald, let her take care of it. He said, I'm just going to bully this Echo.
That was a good Herald there, if you didn't see that. He actually dropped a bot lane with the Vladimir because he knows the Vladimir's going to have pressure on its own, and while they 4 can siege mid on their own. This is also the part of the game where Raka is going to become extremely oppressive just because the nature of Vladimir and stuff is he already, sits there and sustains for however long, and with the Raka there backing him up and stuff, it's going to be almost impossible to kill this guy.
I think for Hawaii, you need Unwanted to have... He has to nail his ultimate if a fight breaks out. Keep his whole team alive, let the Equalizer fade, let the ultimate from Skull Chaos fade, and then you guys can turn around the fight. So if you're Nevada, you have to sort of layer those one equalizer. If you can get that out the Kindred ult, then you can let Skull Chaos go in. But he doesn't care. He almost kills Dylan Carey under the tower.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Hawaii at this point is
he does kill him under the tower.
So yeah, Hawaii at this point is going to have to make a play towards the bottom lane there. But now it's too late to almost make that play because their numbers. But now with the man down and, you know, at this point it's really hard.
We do see, and also for Nevada, good timing. They have a giant wave pushing up top lane, so that is going to be the third and final T-tier turret going over to the side of the Wolfpack. But Hawaii actually is going to go in here for a fight. St. Daniel's going to get the hook. Silence onto Blitzcrank as well. He is dropping very low, can't get his own hook in return. Meanwhile, Skull Chaos is just pushing, shoving out unwanted, does not care about those tower shots. We are going to see a little bit of sustain. It's so hard to kill Vladimir. Doesn't care if he took 3 tower shots, and he still has as much health as Kindred does.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Vladimir's passive really showing its true natures there as well, just because, you know, the more AP he gets, the more health he actually gets from bonus-wise. So at that point, he's a really fairly tanky guy, and it's really hard to actually just fully commit and kill him at this point with his all sustain. Even as Rocket ult to back him up as well.
We're going to see Nevada is going to jump onto the Baron. They don't have as much damage as you would think with that Rumble Jungle just sort of spamming Flame Spitter. And here comes the rest of Hawaii. We do see Skull Chaos rotating down St. Dale, dropping very low. The equalizer is huge. There's the ult from Kindred. Teleport coming into the Baron pit. The Senna Snipe as well is going to go out. Obby dropping very low. Dylan Carey wants to jump in on the back line right on top of Endpoint. He's going to ult right back to Baron though, and Skull Chaos is in the front line. There's the pool. 1 kill down. St. Daniel's going to pick that one up. Another kill down as Crimson Side goes down. We'll see 1 pickup for the side of Hawaii, but it does not matter. Endpoint is unstoppable. Avi is going to try and hunt down this Echo. The flash, the Flame Spitter, just enough for the ace. The minion waves might not cooperate for a game ender, but a 5-for-1 has to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii actually, the Kindred had a very good ult there to start the fight. However, I mean, after that point, Skull Chaos coming in with how big he is, and Vladimir just basically comes and seals the deal in the game.
They're going to get at least the mid turret and the mid inhibitor there. No other minion waves are going to provide any support, so Nevada will just have that to show for it. But with the dragon spawning very soon, they can back spend their gold and set it up for that first infirmary.
Yeah, my guess is they probably send Vladimir ball here pretty soon and just have the Baron pressure to close out the game.
I do say I like the Kindred ult, but the Senna ult felt weird because he ulted while Kindred's ult was still available. Obvi stayed alive because of the Kindred ult.
Yeah, I think she might have been thinking of more so using the shield version of the ult, or it was just like trying to get him low enough to be at the same threshold, so I don't really know.
That is the one problem with Kindred is he wants everyone to live.
Yeah, it goes both ways. So.
Yeah, so that is one thing, a nice thing about Rumble is when he gets in with his equalizer, sure, the other team doesn't die, but I'm not going to die either. So if you're Hawaii, I mean, how do you get back in this? I mean, the Kindred ult was perfect. We haven't seen any Blitzcrank hooks. Is that where it comes from, hooking somebody?
I think their really only way is if Skull Chaos and Vladimir is split pushing, since he has no Zonias, I think you have to just force him to the side lane and try to get a pick and, you know, play off numbers after that. But if you're not getting a pick beforehand, there's no way they win 5v5s.
Holy Infernal Dragon is going to go over to the side of Nevada. Not even a contest. No one even leaving their base for the side of Hawaii. So that's going to be some extra damage there. No Baron right now, but I think that could be another way is cheesing the Baron if you're Nevada, start a fight, and then immediately come out and pick him.
I think at this point, since you have the mid inhibitor and you have Skull Chaos with the TP, is they're probably going to 4-man and look topside for vision here. And if, you know, they basically start Baron, and if the enemy team reacts, they just have Vladimir stay bot side. And if they don't react, then Vladimir just gets, you know, all the bot side stuff.
And there's also not a lot of great wave clear for Hawaii to where you have someone who can sort of solo down those super minions. You kind of have to all team up on him. And once again, Skull Chaos just showing how far ahead he is. Just 1v1ing that Echo. He is 3 levels up on him.
Yeah, he definitely does a really good job of playing the side lanes. Not like the biggest thing is not sharing XP, and so he's just permanently getting solo XP and, you know, getting as farmed as possible.
So we do see there Hawaii realized that Nevada was trying to set up something on the Baron. The ping's coming out once again. That red buff is fully warded out as we are seeing some clearing attempts come out from the side of Hawaii. But for right now, I think they still would be walking into a trap if they tried to engage on the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Nevada at this point is just playing this slow, right? They have their Vladimir, Skull Chaos bot lane, just going to bully out this Echo while they push mid here. And then once in a play opportunity opportunity comes, they should be able to bear it.
Ooh, play here for Hawaii. Actually, they're going to jump onto Avi. He is going to go down. The equalizer, though, is going to do a ton of damage. We're going to see one member go down. Unwanted is going to pop his ult. It doesn't matter. In the back line, though, a killing spree for Skull Chaos. We're going to see another ace for the side of Nevada, and I think this one is going to be enough for the game.
Yeah, I mean, Skull Chaos going in there with the Rocka. Those guys can like 2v5 at this point, right? You have the Rocka, you have the Vlad ult healing him over time. You have his QZ, then you have Rocka just basically holding his back pocket, healing him over and over again.
And you know, I'll give a shout out to the play there. The double teleport makes the minion immune from the Nexus turret, so they're able to push. They had supers coming, but it is going to speed it up. But Nevada, off of that, is going to take the game, and they are going to take the series 2-0 over Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, these early games seemed a little like, back and forth between Hawaii and Nevada, but it seems like Nevada end up, really coming back with those TPs and just fights later in the game, of course.
We once again want to give a shout out to Nevada Esports for coming up to visit us in the Game Pants Esports Arena. You can see them on stage there, wrapping up their day with a win in the Mountain West Esports League of Legends series over Hawaii, 2-0. And Red Hots, your final thoughts on that win by Nevada?
Oh, I mean, it was just a great plays from them as well, just knowing when they can take fights when they can't. I mean, sometimes they overstayed a little bit, but I think overall they knew what they were trying to do with their comp and what they were trying to accomplish, and they executed it.
And then the Sacklar from Nevada on the Overwatch team. Why don't you just give us your thoughts about the day? I mean, you guys had I'll say unfortunate great day, especially for Boise State fans, but what was it like being up here? What was all this experience like for you?
I mean, it was great. I think we really said everything we wanted to say. 3-0 Rocket League, 3-0 League. Would have been 3-0 Overwatch, but I messed up. But hopefully by showing that we can perform against a varsity level team like Boise State, that maybe there's some merit in supporting us.
Well, good news for Bronco fans is none of those wins or losses counted in the official standings, and Nevada is on the west side of the conference, so we will not have to see you guys until Vegas, which we really hope we do, because I think I can speak for Red Hots, but I think revenge is on the Broncos' mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams are now that's in the back of their mind, but both our minds. But I think right now, first and foremost, is just taking every game 1 week at a time and getting there in the first place.
Well, I do think we can go to the final progress report. We might just have to give them all A's because Nevada just killed it. We were maybe a little bit harsh graders there, but, I mean, they did everything. I mean, I already have them all A's. I guess if you guys want to amend something, you can.
I mean, I think it's the same as last game, honestly. They did everything pretty well.
Solid.
So there is your final progress report. Nevada really having a fantastic game, dominating Hawaii. Not much the Rainbow Warriors could do, so I guess we'll just wrap it up. Red Hots, your final thoughts on that match, and then the Sacklar will give you your final thoughts on just the whole day.
I think it was just, good to watch them play, good to see. The big thing I think of Nevada's always had is they've always had really good team play. I think they play as a team well, and they know when to make plays or help other teammates out when they need help, so I think they did a good job there.
We drove 6 hours to be here. We came to make a statement, and I felt like we did that today.
Well, thank you so much, Sacklar, for coming. A word to other Mountain West teams. You're not going to do what Nevada did. Don't waste your gas money just to think you're going to 3-0 Boise State. We'll be ready for you. But thank you so much to Nevada Esports for coming up and spending the day with us. It was a lot of fun to have a packed house. Thank you so much for our viewers at home tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
And just general map positioning is.
We're going to see a gank, though, before we get to that. A flag and drag right onto Skull Chaos, but he's going to pick him up with assist from the tower, and now Dylan Kira is caught all alone. Avi chasing him down. That's a gank gone wrong for Hawaii. We're going to see Crimson Side's going to jump onto Unwanted. He's going to see a teleport coming out as well. The Dragon goes to the side of Nevada, but they have blood on their mind. Skull Chaos going to jump right onto him. He's going to take him down. Unwanted was trying to come up to help for the gank, but he might be a sitting duck as well. Skull Chaos at endpoint. He's going to jump onto him, trying to get a little bit more damage. Here comes Dylan Kira. It doesn't matter. going to go in. Here's the Blitzcrank hook. It's going to land right on top of St. Daniel. He's going to use his stopwatch. Bullet time's going to come out. That's one kill over to the side of Hawaii. The Cataclysm keeps him in, but Price is going to pick up the second one. Now we're going to see the Death Realm come out. Endpoint trying to pick up August Feb. That turret can still attack you. He does not care, and that's 2 over to the side of Nevada. In a herd, and Hawaii just learned that Unwanted's going to drop the ultimate though. He's going to keep his team alive just for now. It's going to heal everyone. Crimson side with the first shutdown. Dylan Carey trying to jump in on that back line. He's going to ult away to safety, and now he's going to drop very low. He's not going to get stunned though, but St. Daniel picks up the kill. That is 3 for 0 Nevada.
Does.
He doesn't have Flash, he just used it already. Obvious trying to find Unwanted. And now we're going to see, here comes the rest of the cavalry though. The shutdown is going to go onto Price, but here's Endpoint. He's going to get the first kill. Darren Killian very low. He's going to flash over the wall for that one, and it's now a 3-on-3. Skull Chaos dropping very low, goes into the pool. Doesn't get enough healing with the Ignite coming out, but a shutdown and a triple kill comes out. Endpoint now going to, oh, didn't even let him get the Quadra. Avi picks it up.